So I get a knock on the door.
Hello?
There are 3 dudes in these hazmat things.
Hello?
I saw the 2 other running from around the side of my house.
Hello?
And the car drove off. Like many, I've been quarantining in my house in California, mostly spending time hopping on work calls and gaining weight. A friend told me to post this story here, so here goes. One night last month, around 10:30 p.m., I was eating dinner. I live in a rural area where houses are spaced farther apart, and the main town square has got to be at least 2 miles from where I live, i.e. the police department. So I get a knock on the door. Odd at this hour, but I open it anyways, expecting maybe it's a package. There are 3 dudes in these dirty, yellow hazmat suit type things with face shields as well. I was taken aback and mumbled something like, hello? One guy holding a clipboard introduced themselves as a disinfection team sent by the county, and that groups of them had been going around the towns in that county to inspect houses to make sure they're sanitized, etc. I wasn't buying it, so I asked them to give me a minute and called my neighbor. I asked him about this, quote, disinfection team, unquote, and he told me it could be a scam and to ask for a warrant or to call the cops. I went back to the door to ask for a warrant, and the men were gone. I walked out into my driveway, baffled, and glanced down the street. No cars in sight, just the warm night air. I contemplated calling the police, but didn't think it was worth it. I went back inside, locking all the windows and heading upstairs to watch some TV. An hour later, I was still watching TV, and I hear some things fall over in my backyard on the patio. I heard it as clear as day because the patio was below the bedroom window to my left, which was wide open. I was too lazy to check it out, so I stuck my head out the window to look around, and nearly died on the spot when I see one of those guys in hazmat suits messing with my back door. I reacted quickly, yelling, "Hey, the cops are on their way." That sure got his attention. He yelled something unintelligible and hopped at the backyard fence. I saw the 2 other running from around the side of my house. They all hopped the fence and ran off into the woods right beyond my house. I picked up my phone from the nightstand and dialed my local police, explaining the situation as I could still see their yellow figures disappearing into the wood. Cops came and we made a really creepy discovery. The 2 guys who had been around the side of my house had been trying to pry open my dining room window with a crowbar. I asked them if they could check it for fingertips, and I shit you not, one of the officers responded with, quote, "What do you think this is, the CIA?" unquote. Honestly, that pissed me off, but the men had been wearing gloves anyway, so ultimately it didn't matter. But let this be a lesson. I hope no one else will fall victim to this kind of scam. So this happened about 4 years ago. My dad works nights, so I'm home alone until about 2:30 a.m. most days. We live in a pretty quiet area where people usually keep to themselves. One night at about 1 in the morning, there was a knock at the door. And when I checked our peephole, there was a young woman with a car parked near the curb in front of the house. I answered, and she looked really young, maybe 15, 16, or just looked very youthful. In short, she looked just barely old enough to be driving. She told me that she was having car trouble and asked if I could come and check it out, possibly give her a jump. At this time, I didn't drive, have a car of my own, or know very much about cars, so I was of little help, but offered to call someone if she needed AAA or a tow service. She declined, but kept insisting that I check out the lights on her dashboard to see if they were quote-unquote normal. At this point, I just didn't want to be outside with a stranger, so I politely informed her I'd be of little help because I had zero knowledge of cars. I went back inside, but kept looking through the peephole. She opened the back door, got into the back seat, and the car drove off. It instantly made my stomach drop and had me extremely freaked out. I was kind of distraught, thinking about what the real reason was to approach my house. Who was driving? Just the entire thing left me confused and frightened. I spent the next few days a little on edge because I was afraid they may return knowing that someone is there or that I was alone. I also think of that girl and who she was. I wish I had a video doorbell at the time so I could find out if she was a victim of some sort. I don't know. It still bothers me a lot, and it's eerie as hell. About 2 years ago, I was up late, around 2 a.m., and someone started knocking on my door and begging for help. I didn't answer because I'm a very petite woman and I don't trust people in my neighborhood. We have security cameras that see every angle of the outside of our house, and I pulled up my app. And it was a woman that was probably in her late 20s, 30s. I didn't recognize her, so I didn't answer. She kept knocking and asking for help, asking if anyone was home. She finally went away. Then I heard the screen door under my carport open. She started knocking on that door and even jiggling the doorknob. At this point, I woke my husband up and he came to check out the situation, but she was gone by the time he got there. A few minutes later, she started again. First the front door, then the side door, then back again. I called the police, and an officer came out to speak to us and check out the situation. He actually found her in some bushes down the street. He said we were wise not to open the door or let her in because he recognized her, and she had a long list of priors for robbery and assault. I'd like to thank you all for taking a few moments to listen to a story time brought to you from my subreddit, our Creepy Encounters. The link to the submissions that I've narrated are in the description box below if you want to go and show the OP some love, or even just read the comments and see what other people might have had to say about it. And let me know what you think of this format for this channel of having more than one story per episode. With the shorter ones, I'm still not sure if the compilations like this make sense, or if it'd be better to post them as shorts. Some of the ones I like are in that weird length where they're not long enough to be their own episode, so I just need to figure out what to do with them because some of them I really like. They're just a weird length for YouTube. So in the comments, let me know what you guys think makes the most sense, and I'll certainly take that into account going forward. Also, just like every other YouTuber in existence, I'm trying to get into the YouTube Partner Program, and to qualify, I need 1,000 subscribers. I'm a 10th of the way there. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please take a moment to do so, and also hit up the notification bell so you'll be alerted every time a creepy encounter goes live. Lastly, please go ahead and help us out in the algorithm by leaving a like if you like this, a dislike if you didn't, and a comment if you can, even if it's just, hi.